Hello and welcome to AMCPP and the double-headed title of Physio in Sport and Physio in Disability Sport. So this is your directed study so that you have clarity about what you need to do in this asynchronous way. So what we're going to do is just cover two topics. So we've obviously got physios in sport, that's professional sport with highly able-bodied individuals, and then we got sport for the disabled, both in the community and at elite level. So what we want you to do in terms of directed study is read through 4 of the lectures. So we've got one lecture which explains being a physio in sport and how that might differ from being in the NHS. Then we've got introducing disability sport. What is it? Where did it come from? And sort of beyond the Paralympics. Then we deep dive into the various types of disability sport, including things like classification. And then we also specialize in physio and amputee rehabilitation, particularly amputees that then get selected to become athletes. So that's your directed study. There's also, for the practical element for sport, there's going to be 3 case studies. And you'll be deep diving into these 3 case studies in terms of the practical. So what we want you to do is start thinking about what their rehabilitation journey might look like, and the case studies are as follows. So the first one is a 24-year-old triple jumper. They've got a grade 1 hamstring tear, and they've got a competition in 8 weeks' time. You've got to design this sort of exercise and physiotherapy program about getting them back to competition. Next one is a rugby player who's got a cervical spine injury. They're a young player, so they're under 18, and they need to progress up to the men's game. As soon as they turn 18, they can then be in the men's game. We've got to think about what's going on in terms of things like concussion, in terms of how do we do some C-spine strengthening, and what are the player specific roles. So if the rugby player is a prop or in the front row, for example, how is that going to influence their C-spine? And then another rugby player, or this could indeed be a football player, if you're a Matt's group, with an ACL reconstruction. This is a female player who's 32. She's a fly half, so she needs to get back to kicking. And we've got to design an exercise program for her in all stages, early, mid and late stage rehabilitation. So we've got the 3 case studies there for physio in sport. Then what I want you to do is have a look through the disability sport packages. We want to get a good understanding of what disability sport is, both in the community and at elite level. And then we can understand that there's differences between people exercising that are disabled and people participating in sport. So parasport or disability sport. And then we're going to specialize in the amputee athlete journey, and what that entails, different types of amputees, both upper limb, lower limb, unilateral and bilateral. So that is the directed study that I'd like you to do. And then for the practical, we'll be deep diving into the topics of disability classification and going through those 3 case studies for strength and conditioning in sport. So looking forward to seeing you in the practical session, guys. Happy reading and enjoy.